Hey, what is up, YouTube, and what is up, Christian Intelligence family? So we have a video about Ben Shapiro and Jeff Durbin having a debate. Jeff Durbin is from the Apologia Studios on YouTube, and I think they have another podcast on Spotify. I'm not sure, but everybody knows Ben Shapiro, especially if you're a part of the conservative movement, right? And especially if you're on Twitter and you know how, the back and forth with him and Candace Owens. All right, let's get straight to the videos, guys. If you like the video, kindly hit the subscribe button, and then kindly hit the like button too if you really enjoy the video. All right, let's get straight to it.
Season 2, Episode 1 of Next Week with Jeff Durbin. We are so very excited about this gift that we have for this first episode. We're going to have one of our favorite people on. You know him. He really doesn't need much of an introduction for our audience.
YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, all the usual places that they can get podcasts.
Excellent. Now, I noticed, I was actually looking up your bio, and I noticed that when you were 17 years old, you started to write a book, and that book was something to do with colleges indoctrinating children, correct?
Yeah, so I had a syndicated column when I was 17, and then my first book came out when I was 20. That was about my experiences at UCLA and leftist bias on college campuses across the country. Obviously, not much has changed in the 14 years since that came out, so it's only gotten worse, unfortunately.
Well, you are the man that is feared by social justice warriors everywhere. Your clips run across social media, and just some devastating things. I want to just talk for a moment about that worldview problem, talking about the colleges, academia, indoctrinating our youth. We see this just broad spectrum really across the country of really an antithetical worldview from what really this nation began with. And you address that obviously in your book. Can you talk just about that in terms of colleges, universities, the indoctrination of our youth, and just really the problem of what we see before us in terms of this large movement of Marxism, socialism, social justice warriors? Just talk about that.
Sure. Leftism on college campuses obviously is the predominant ideology, and that ideology suggests a couple of things. Number one, that the history of the United States was founded in racism, sexism, bigotry of every sort, and that has poisoned America's cultural history throughout, and that it's almost impossible to get away with it unless you to get away from it unless you acknowledge that you are part and parcel of the problem, and then hand over all power and all ability to speak to people who presumably are not white, straight male, for whom the system was supposedly designed. That's the idea that they put forward on college campuses. That combined with the idea, the Marxist notion, that equality of outcome is something to be sought. Not equality of rights, but equality of outcome. It's not about a right to free speech. It's about the idea that if I speak and you speak and I'm better at it than you and our outcome is different, then something totally unfair has happened. The same thing in the economic sphere. If I'm rich and you're poor, or vice versa, it doesn't matter whether I made bad decisions and you made good decisions, or the opposite. All that really matters is that we finished in different places, and that's something that has to be rectified by the heavy hand of government.
Right. And one of the things I think that was powerful about that particular clip that we aired right here at the beginning, you were talking to a man that goes by the name of Zoe, and in that clip you were bold, courageous. I was very excited to see. Just you were. I thought you were respectful and humble, but also just truthful in terms of you said, and what is your? I think you said, what is your biology? What is your genetics, sir? And that set Zoe off. And your popular phrase, facts don't care about your feelings, I think is something that means a lot in our day and age when so much is built up.
Facts. Ben Shapiro didn't really, he didn't really stick with his term "facts don't care about your feelings" when he was going at it with Candace Owens, unfortunately. But it is what it is, man. Right? We all don't follow our own rules that we set. We don't follow it, right?
And wrapped around the issue of emotion. Well, I feel like I'm a man, I feel like I'm a woman, and you just don't go along that line. So can you talk just about that, the need to embrace that ideology, that facts don't care about your feelings in this day that we live?
Well, I mean, I think it's important, obviously, to be cordial and be polite as often as humanly possible, but that you have to do that without sacrificing reality. And I think one of the things the left has done is turned the right's penchant for politeness and decency against itself by suggesting that now you have to, if you want to be polite or decent, you have to view the world in exactly the way that I do. And that's what has happened with, for example, the transgender pronoun debate, the idea that even if you're not objectively a man or objectively a woman, I have to call you by the pronoun that you seek to be called, because otherwise I'd be being impolite or being rude. That's not the question. The question is, in public debate, when it comes particularly to how a society defines sex, are we going to do so on the arbitrary basis of subjectivity, or are we going to have some sort of objective standard by which we decide whether a person is a man or a woman? And what are we going to teach to our children? Because it's not just about what I call you. It's also about what you force me to teach my children in, for example, public schools. Am I forced to teach my 5-year-old that she can become a boy if she wants to, which obviously is untrue and is significantly damaging to the psyche if you're talking about kids who don't even know about puberty yet. And unfortunately, the left has decided that it's much more important to push an agenda where all lines are removed on behalf of equality and sameness than to reinforce reality. And I think that it's become a controversial proposition simply to say reality is reality and nothing we do can change that. But that controversy, I think, is necessary in a world where the left refuses to not only abide by reality, but suggest that reality and recognizing it is racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic.
All right. I think it's just what so many people see as just a fresh of breath air with you and your work is just that commitment to objective reality, not the subjectivity that we see so often in front of us today with college campuses, universities, and what's just really just being pumped out. And so it's a powerful thing, and it seems, again, compelling that we actually have to talk about that. And Ben, one of the things that I think is compelling is that this particular worldview shift and this ideology of this subjectivity, our emotions really playing the defining role, it's coming out of universities, the places that are supposed to be rooted in logic, reason, objectivity, facts, biology, science. And what we see really is just the antithesis of that coming out of the university system today. We see really this worldview that's really developed and built upon pure emotion, not facts, not history, not reason, not sound thinking. And so that's, I think, one of the things that's making you such a formidable opponent to those on the left. And so one of the things that so many of us get excited about, and Ben, if you don't know a lot about us, our particular organization, End Abortion Now, we have been able to, by God's grace, save, at this point, thousands of lives across the country outside of abortion clinics, trying to minister to and to love the women and the fathers going in. And it's just been an incredible experience to be able to hold these children in our arms. And one of the great and tremendous blessings of what you're doing is just how you define, say, an issue like abortion. You hang on that facts don't care about your feelings. You hang on the objective reality and not the subjective feelingness of the issue. And so you define it properly, and you do it boldly. And one of the things that we appreciate, Ben, is just that you do that. You call it murder, you call it killing, and it's something that many legislators aren't willing to do. And honestly, Ben, and this is, of course, discouraging, but many even in the pro-life movement aren't willing to take the kind of bold stand that you do. And I think that yours is the most effective. I want to play this clip here, and this is Ben, and one of my very favorite clips about Ben talking about abortion. This is clip number 2. Go ahead, Marcus.
She says that she's thinking about reproductive rights 1 minute from having a baby. This is about as perverse a notion as I could possibly imagine. That as you're about to have your child, you're thinking, boy, wouldn't it be great if I could still kill this thing? If you want to go to Planned Parenthood and get a contraceptive, go for it. I don't care. I do care when you start killing babies. This is a problem for me. No, here I am. Look how pregnant I am. There's a baby in here. This is my beautiful child. And I was thinking, maybe I should just kill it. We make these moral judgments all the time when we see a violation of moral law, and it is a violation of moral law to kill another human being, which is why we have murder laws.
And there you go. That's powerful. And I think what I want to hang on there, Ben, and just hear you just elaborate on, is you rightly bring the issue of abortion down to the moral issue, which all, as you know, all legislative moves really have some component, some moral component to them. And you bring it right there to the moral issue. And I think that's vitally important to get. You talk about this actress who did a video, and I love your response to it, Ben. Just the passion you had there was so important to me in terms of her saying she's just a minute away from giving birth, and she should still have the right to kill this baby. There's a baby in there, and I ought to be able to kill it. And you talk.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever right to ever. I don't think it's ever right to even want to kill a child, like at any stage of the pregnancy, honestly. But people are always gonna do what they want to do, so I have no control over that. All I can say is, man, please reconsider your actions. You don't need to kill a child to be able to do whatever you need to do. You can still have a child and go to school. You can still have a child and have a life, have a career, even get married. So don't think that having this child is going to stop you from being who you are meant to be. That's why I would say to a woman that's thinking of ending her pregnancy, unfortunately. Right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, kindly hit the subscribe button and the like button, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.